he's got to say. How you doing, Mo?
How's it going, Terry? You all right?
I'm very, very well. How are you feeling about this news as a rival?
As a rival, it's not good news for us. Because it shows that they're a great football club. The way them and Man City, the way they've been run for the past 8 to 9 years, their recruitment, their structure, their footballing philosophy, they've got it down to a T. They're everything that Man United should have been. But we never modernized our football club. We never got a structure. We just went. Our owners employed. Our owners did invest money, but it was a 1.2 billion pounds down the drain. They gave it to the wrong people to invest their money. And what Liverpool had done by signing Klopp up to a new deal, it shows the levels at that football club. It's like a world oil machine. Everything is in place. Their academy, their first team, their progression to the first team, the players they sign. There's a philosophy. There's an idea behind it. Where it's like Ralph Rangnick said, Terry, we're about 6 years behind them. I'll say we're about 10 years behind them. If I'm being honest, it's a good 10 years we're behind them. Can we catch up to Liverpool? Of course we can. It's Man United.
Yeah, we can. It just takes consistency in approach. That's what's going to be needed here. And until we get that, we'll never catch them. If you're always starting over again and again, it's like this. If you go gym and there's a guy, great body, great physique, exactly how you want to kind of get yourself looking, you can get there, but you've just got to eat right and train consistently for 2-3 years, like without foul. But if every 4 months you throw the towel in and spend a whole month eating McDonald's chocolate and crisps, you're never going to get there. You're never going to reach that end goal. And that's Manchester United. We keep cheating. And I'll say what Leah said a few weeks ago, cheating the process. That's what Man City, that is what Liverpool have not been doing. And there's smaller clubs in the Premier League that pound for pound do fantastic jobs. The likes of Brighton, they don't cheat the process. They stick to their plan and it yields massive results. Mo, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. I really appreciate it, brother. Top man.
Okay, so first thing is, I think the one concern, if I'm Liverpool fan, I would have is, now the Klopp signs. Now what happens with Salah? I think that negotiation could be impacted, with Klopp signing. So I think now if FSG and they piss about, with the contract, they don't give Salah what he wants, then how's Klopp going to react to it? So that is the one thing I would, that could, really fracture the dressing room, I believe. So that's why I think it's a good step, but I think we still have a long way to go to see, how fruitful it really is. And I think Chelsea will be again coming for them. I believe, if the owners back double T, I think they have something coming. I genuinely believe this because, given reports, I believe Todd Bowley, if he's going to get the club, he's very data driven, in terms of how he operates his business. And even Tuchel, as far as running football, is also very data driven. So I think that, that mesh could really build something special, I believe. And I think that could really challenge, Liverpool and City. So that's my thoughts on this whole situation.
So you don't sound too concerned then. You're sort of, it's good for Liverpool, but you still think Chelsea are coming for them.
Right. I still think there's a long way to go, to see how fruitful it really is. I think it's a step in the right direction.
Definitely a step in the right direction. There's no doubt about that. Shrey, thanks for coming on and having your say, mate. Liverpool fans, what's your thoughts to that? Chelsea fans with a lot of chest still in relation. I want to get his take on this because Klopp is breathing down the neck of Pep Guardiola. What do you make of Klopp extending his deal?
Oh boy, how you doing, Terry?
I'm good. I mean, you're so hot and bothered by this. It looks like you've taken your top off.
Yes,
you're taking your top off. I don't need to see it, by the way. But listen, give me your reaction to this news, young man.
Oh, boy. Well, if Pep doesn't sign a new deal, then I don't know what the hell he's doing. Because with Klopp signing a new deal, that means that Liverpool could potentially win the quad now, because maybe that was the factor that Liverpool needed for them to really focus now. And with him signing, that could really spell bad news for us, considering they're only 1 point behind, and all it takes is one draw and Liverpool to win out for them to even have a chance at the quad.
Oh, mate, listen, you're right, and I think this kind of news boosts people. It lifts the mood. It changes how people think and feel. It does all sorts of things. There's no doubt about it. And the fact you're a City fan and it's like, wow, we've got to react to this. We've got to do something now because if Pep leaves and you get a manager, no manager is going to be as good as Pep for you. There will
Oh hell
be
no.
there'll be a
If
regression.
we
And
lose
if
Pep,
Klopp stays,
next year, if we lose Pep this next year, might as well just give Liverpool the league title for the next 3 years because that's just a madness. And also, he deserves it. The reason why managers get long-term contracts and all that stuff is because they've been winning things. You know, like Mikel Arteta doesn't deserve a contract at all because he hasn't won nothing. Terry, he's only won one trophy in what 12 attempts. I mean, come on, man. And even when, and I also watched the stream. I also watched the stream where Lee Gunner was absolutely roasting an Arsenal fan when Klopp signed for Liverpool in 2015. He had already taken Borussia Dortmund, a completely underrated team that had Robert Lewandowski, I think Mario Götze. Who else did they have? Ilkay Gundogan. He took and Roman Weidenfeller. He took that Borussia Dortmund team who no one knew at the time to a Champions League final. And on the way, they beat Real Madrid in their own backyard by 4-1, where Robert Lewandowski scored every goal. Okay? And he also won 2 Bundesliga titles over that same lot. Okay? So he already had a CV going into Liverpool. All right. So I am sick and tired of Arsenal fans saying, "Oh, it took Klopp 4 years and all that stuff." Yeah, because he had a CV. What CV does Arteta have? You know, and this is where I get the ump. Really, this is where I get the ump with it. All right, because Klopp deserves this new deal. Because my God, if they win the quad,
we're getting your microphone's gone really crackly all of a sudden. I don't know if you got your finger over it or you're doing something. It's just going.
Sorry.
Yeah, not too sure. Yeah, it's gone a bit weird. But listen, I do hear what you're saying, and I get your praise of Klopp, my friend, and we'll speak again soon. You take care, GK. Top man. Thank you.
Yeah,
no problem at all.
It was a big one where you saw the quality of this man, and you're like, actually, where Liverpool was, you could see him doing wonders. You could see him doing that. And I remember when he got announced for Liverpool, I was like, oh, crap, man. Of all the managers you can go and get, Klopp is the one you're scared of, especially after what he did with Dortmund. Doing what he's done now, you was just begging and hoping for him to leave because he's been that good. He's the only one that can put a pilot challenge up to Pep Guardiola, and it's not like it's been a fleeting challenge where by April, that's it. Like they fall away. He has been neck and neck with this guy for a good few years now. Obviously, last season, loads of injuries and stuff like that. But other than that, he's been pushing Man City to the edge and then overcoming Man City as well. Everyone was planning, Arsenal fans, United fans, Chelsea fans, people were planning, when Pep and Klopp finally leave, that's when our chance is. You hear Igal always say, we have to start planning. We have to start planning for when Pep and Klopp leave. And that's when we can, Arsenal can pounce, buy young players in 3 years. They'll be ready for that time. No. In 3 years, they're still going to be here.
Yeah.
So it's not about a waiting game no more. Everyone has to upgrade their team from now. Everyone has to plan from now. It's like, we can't wait for these guys to leave. We have to plan to try and overtake them while they're here. So for me, as a rival, it sucks. This flipping sucks. But for the Premier League, this is great because now teams can't do the waiting game. They have to plan accordingly. Yes, it might take a few years, but you have to plan to make sure that you overtake these guys now or in the next few years while they're still here. You can't wait for them to leave. You can't wait for them, and mate, it's just painful, man.
No, mate, I hear you on that. I think what's massive about this is exactly what you're talking about. This is almost, a lot of people have said you're never going to get another Fergie, Wenger's that stay for 20, 25 years. And I think there's an element of truth in that. It's hard to get that. But Jurgen Klopp's now going to be there till 2026. What's that, 10 years? 10 years?
I wasn't paying attention now.
Sorry. Like, so Jurgen Klopp's been at Liverpool, by 2026, he'll have been at Liverpool.
Oh, yeah, it would have been, I think it'd be around
for 10 10 years. And that's the
Mm.
point. I'm just going to check now. Yeah, he joined in 2015,
15,
early
11 years.
2015, though. So it's going to be, that 11 odd years by the time that ends. That's a gargantuan amount of time. Like, it's just under halfway to what Fergie did. Now, I'm not suggesting he'll do 25 years, but if they're still winning and he's still hungry, then he might go, right, I'll do another 2 years or another 3 years or another. And suddenly it could be 13, then it could be 15, then it could be 17 and 18. And as long as they keep winning, as long as they keep being the best team out there, you're not going to change it. And that's why, as you say, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, don't focus on Liverpool too much. And I'm talking not fans, I'm talking the club. Focus on what you're doing. Get yourself in the right position, because the only way to actually move people like Jurgen Klopp on is to become better than them. And then and to make the Liverpool board go, right, maybe we need a change now. That's the only way. And you've got to stop. Like, there is that almost planning for that 2 year. You've got to. It's going to take 2 or 3 years for teams to catch where they are. But you've got to have your ducks in a row. You've got to have that continuity, because what City and Liverpool are now adding is stability to that continuity, which is going to make it hard to catch. It's why Fergie was so hard to catch, because he just kept Man United up there, and teams would challenge, and then they'd dip a bit, and then bang, they would come back. And it looks like Liverpool are trying to do something very, very similar indeed. And it is bad news for rivals. And I have to say, I am, as a man, I'm happy for Liverpool fans. But as a United fan, I read this news, and I honestly just, I sunk.
Yeah,
I really sunk.
So we've gone through this season as it is. We've got the smallest bit of hope in terms of, Ten Hag might come in and he might be able to do something. Maybe in the next few years, Klopp and Pep leaves, and boom, we're finally good enough to win the league. You see, and that just smacks you right back down to reality of like, yo, this is just going to be long. It's just going to be long. But also remember this, Terry. Whoever it is, I'm not speaking just from Man United. If it's Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, Leicester, whoever ends up winning the league that isn't Man City, or Liverpool with these two guys, that victory will be so much sweeter, just because you know that you've defeated two of the best managers in the modern era. Like, that is going to be beautiful. But the teams have to get good enough to take them down. Like, and will clubs do that? We have to see. But I hope my team can do it. I hope United can get there one day. But yeah, like in the long run, it's gonna be difficult. It is gonna be difficult.
It really is. Do you think there'll be a reaction here from City and Pep? There's a lot of people saying that they feel like Pep might go and sign a new deal now because of this. What do you reckon?
I think it depends what happens in the Champions League. If Pep gets that Champions League, I think there's a chance that he might be like, finally, I've done what I came here to do. I can take a break, because his head gets hot, and he's a madman. So he needs breaks, because his brain just works overtime when it comes to football. So if he gets that Champions League, I can see him saying, you know what, at the end of the current contract, because he just extended it last year. Did he extend it last year or the year before that? He just recently extended it. But if he doesn't get that Champions League, and Klopp beats him to another Champions League, I can see him staying and be like, I ain't leaving. You know what I mean? I ain't leaving until he gets this Champions League and beats Klopp for another time in the Premier League. So yeah, I hope these men leave as soon as possible. But it's not going to be anytime soon, man. It ain't going to be anytime soon. But it'll be good for the Premier League. For the Premier League, it's going to be excellent. For the competition, it's going to be excellent. For whoever wins the Premier League, it's going to feel, again, like I said, even sweeter, because you're not going up against like teams and managers who aren't that great. You go against the best, like some of the best teams and managers in the world. So I'm looking forward to the Premier League next few seasons. I just hope that Man United are actually in the running instead of just being where we are right now. But Liverpool fans, I can see why they're excited. And they should be. They've got one of the best managers in the modern era, like hands down. Like him renewing, there's no stress, because I remember some of them were like, is Klopp gonna go? Who would replace him? Is it a Nagelsmann? Is it, I think Ten Hag was maybe mentioned before, is it one of these guys? Would they be able to replicate? Would they be able to replicate what Klopp's done? Don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, mate. I do. Bro, appreciate you coming on, having your say with us this afternoon, and we'll chat to you again soon, my guy. Top man. Thank you, KJ.